Go to the next slide. We do. Okay. So our first question into this is, have you ever thought about how the very strengths that got you through your toughest moments might be the same ones that are keeping you from experiencing deep, fulfilling love? Independence, being dependable, working hard, those are all survival skills that are now your armor. So basically, the things that made you successful in your career are not going to make you successful in love, is what this contrast is. And that's what it means by now they're your cage. Wait, you said turn back? Turn back where? Where are we going? To the first slide? Oh, you said turn back the camera. Okay, sorry. I'm late. All right. Introduction to me first. A small introduction. Who am I? What do I do? All that fun stuff. I go by Miss Maya J, and I help high-achieving women attract the men of their dreams without chasing, settling, sacrificing, dropping their standards, all that stuff. And tonight, I'm going to help you shift into the energy that's been keeping you stuck. And this is going to hit different. I'm going pretty deep, y'all. Not supposed to go this deep on live, but hey, what the heck. I got to get some of this information off my chest anyway. I also call myself a love alchemist, which I was going to save that for the end. But for me, a love alchemist, I transform the condition of your heart, which you'll find out through all these slides, what that even means, how that looks, and all that stuff. All right. Let's talk about this being strong. I think I skipped a slide. I think one didn't get created. So I'm going to fill in the blanks. And I have notes. So y'all are looking at the screen and I'm looking at my notebook. Okay. So I was always praised for being strong and independent. And it felt good until I realized that those strengths were armor in love. I wasn't just being strong. I was blocking myself from being vulnerable and receiving real love. And people will always say stuff to me like, you don't look like what you've been through. Fly ass vegan, I got you, boo boo, got you. People would always tell me that I don't look like what I've been through. So majority of the time, black women or in the black culture, we are conditioned to be strong. And that's survival. That's survival that dates all the way back to slavery. Because as women, we're going with just the black women. Black women, we were strong for survival because that was how you lived. You could get beaten and sold at any given time. That doesn't just go away because slavery ends. So, especially if you were born on the plantation, that's all you know is slavery. So one day, all you know is not what you know, and you have to figure out how to survive in the world, opposite of depending on somebody and being beaten and being sold and going through all of that turmoil. You don't have anything. You're starting from nothing because they're slaves. They didn't get paid. So they're out here figuring life out from survival. So that slave mom is somebody's mom. So then that next generation, they pass down that survival. Then that daughter becomes somebody's mom. And typically what your mom taught you, you pass down to your kid. So it's still here. We still have survival. So basically what I'm talking about through this whole session is survival mode in love. And we don't even think that we have it. We're not even aware of it. But I'm going to point it out to you very strategically. Okay. So how I realized that this was impacting me was, wait, let me make sure I don't skip a part. Is this a slide? Yep, it's a slide. I was about to skip a part. Okay. So, quote unquote, strong has saved me from ever getting my heart broke. So everybody else has a story of how they have at least one heartbreak. They had that one first real love. It tore. I don't, right? And I used to think two things about that. I used to think, oh, look, I'm doing a good job, right? I haven't had my heart broke. But then in the back of my mind, I was also like, well, wait, does that mean I don't know how to love people? Everybody's been in love at least one time, and my goofy behind, I'm just now getting to it. I just now fell in love at 30, 31, 31, 31. I'm 34 now, but I think, like 31. So, a little late to the game. I'm 34. I don't have the bliss to broken-hearted story from a lover. I actually had got it from my dad, which is a slide that I forgot. So, we're going to talk about it now. Your inner voice, typically the negative inner voice, comes from your parents. If you pay attention, your inner voice sounds like your parents. So when I'm saying I had my heart broken by my dad, that was the first male interaction. My dad has a tendency to, quote unquote, try to encourage you, but he uses negativity. That's survival mode, his survival mode. So I had always felt like I wasn't good enough. That was the program that I was running. But that's my dad's voice. Nothing that I did was good enough. I wasn't doing it the right way. I didn't do it on time. I didn't do this. Oh, yes, you did this, but it didn't look like this. And that was my inner voice running for my whole life. And then I was raised by my mom. So that's a single parent home. Sorry, I was reading the comments. It's a single parent home. So I came from a single parent home. And in single parent homes, you learn independence. Guess what, guys? Independence and strong are survival. So from a very young age, we are already in survival. And for those who don't know, survival is masculine energy. Masculine and feminine energy, for those who are not familiar, let's just call it masculine is all the doing. Feminine is all the allowing, the nurturing, the trusting, the believing, the faith. That's what women's job is. However, we start off early in masculine. No man wants to be with a man if he's straight. That's a problem right there. All right. So your survival and your strength and your tenacity, that will build your career. This is why I work with high achieving women. That will build your career, but it will destroy your marriage or your chances of it. At least a happy one, because people get married all the time. This is how people end up settling. I'm just going to take this because, the clock is ticking and I'm already 49. And if I don't marry this man now, I'm not going to get married because who wants me at 60? All that stuff, right? Okay. So what got you here to this point in your life, it's not going to take you where you want to go in love at all. We need to leave it at the door. Matter of fact, you need to leave it on this live. I give you permission. Okay. So, romantic relationships with depth will reveal all the hidden shadows and traumas that you suppressed, especially those relationships that you love. All the traumas that you've suppressed, the traumas that you forgot, and the traumas that you were unaware of. And without the tools or the awareness to navigate, you will think that it's the man with the problem. Ladies, I got bad news. None of this live is about the man. This is only about us. It's not about the man. It was never about the man. It'll never be about the man. When you get the man and you're married, it still won't be about the man. It's only about us. This whole thing is about us. Yourself, your self-image / self-concept, your self-worth, your self-love. And if your self is in survival mode, that creates an energy. And energy will punk willpower every time. So you can have all the want to in the world. You can work as hard as you want to. Matter of fact, you can have all the right actions and the wrong energy. And for as long as you have the wrong energy, those actions will not yield you what you want. It's how you keep stabbing in the dark. So let me add some contrast. This is my favorite part of this slide. Your self-image and your self-concept is how you see yourself and who you are to yourself. So watch this. Your self-image is independent. Your survival habit that you created from your independence is that you always do it by yourself. You always got to do it by yourself. That's how long you've been doing it by yourself. Some of us are 30s, 40s, 50s. You've been doing it by yourself the whole time. And the outcome is burnout. I'm going to tell you at the end of this, or at the end of this slide, how that translates in these relationships. Your self-image is nice. Now, there's a difference between nice and kind, but that's a lie for another day. Your self-image is nice. So that created the survival habit of you never saying no. So that made you a little bit of a doormat. You have weak boundaries. You don't know when to say no. You feel bad when you say no. You feel like you put that other person first. Like, oh, well, if I say no, he's going to do this, or it's going to look like this, or weak boundaries. You're a go-getter. That made your survival habit never satisfied. Can y'all see how that's a problem already before I even give you the contrast? Never satisfied. That makes your outcome high turnover. By high turnover, I mean these men are in rotation. You're just dating. You're dating. In my case, for most of my life, I would get bored with guys. And actually, when I met them, I would let them know, like, I get bored fast. So, but I didn't know back then. It was the go-getter spirit. The go-getter spirit is never satisfied because they always want more. They're always looking for the next best thing. There's no, what's that called? There's no, I was going to say shorty. I'm one of those people who make words up. There's no certainty there. High turnover. That's not saying you're a hoe. That's not saying you're having sex with these men. It's just saying that they're always in rotation. Then your self-image might be dependable. I'm a dependable person. Then your survival habit that you created from that is that you don't make waves, which means you don't cause problems, you don't speak up, you don't stand up for yourself when stuff is like, best example, you say yes when you really mean no. Yeah, sure, I'll do that for you. Yes, I'll get out of my bed and drive all the way over there and do this when I don't feel like it. Because I'm dependable. I want you to know that I'm dependable. So the outcome is depleted and that you get passed over. A giver, when given to a taker, will never replenish what they're giving. A hard worker, the survival habit becomes a workaholic. And the outcome becomes that your family's stressed, your body is stressed, you have no time for self. That's a common one. When I'm on calls with prospects, sometimes they say, oh, I don't really have time to figure out my love life because I have this. That's the workaholic. I want the husband, but I don't have any time to pay this no attention. Not realizing that if that's something you desire, that's prioritizing yourself. That has nothing to do with the man. But we think everything has to do with the man. So let me tell you how these all play back into your relationship dynamics. Let's imagine that we're dating this guy that we like, right? And I'm holding what was I about to say? Our self-image is that we're independent. Now, sometimes we can't decipher independence from hyper-independence. That's another topic. So our self-image is that we're independent, right? And that we're a go-getter. So if you're independent and you feel like you always have to do it by yourself and you attract a man who's high value men are solid providers. They love providing. That's what they do. And for this is going to be the only part of this conversation that we're going to talk about man psychology. Men respond to respect. Trust is a form of respect to them. Appreciation. And they like to feel needed. That's how they communicate. They need that. That's part of how they feel like they're making you happy. So if you are independent and you always have to do stuff by yourself, what do you need him for? Where do he come in at? Just for sex? Just want him to participate in sex? And then what kind of marriage or relationship do you have if it's just sex-based? Right? Then let's say, you have the go-getter self-image. You're never satisfied. That means you can't even appreciate this man properly. Now, what did I tell you? Men comprehend appreciation as love. So if you are a go-getter and your survival is that you are never satisfied, how on earth are you going to communicate to that man that you love him if you cannot appreciate what he does? And then what can he do for you to appreciate if you're so independent that you're always doing stuff by yourself, that you cannot let him do anything? You can't let him fill your gas tank up before you go to work by surprise because you want to use your fuel perks. You can't let this man cook you dinner because you just came home from work and bought the food out the cafeteria and now you're tired. Remember, you're independent, so you're always on burnout. So if you can't let the man do anything for you, he doesn't feel needed. That's one thing. So he doesn't even know what to do now. The high value ones will walk away. The ones who are still working on themselves, they'll stay for a little bit. Because they'll understand that you're in survival and there's this piece of them that'll want to help you get out of it, right? That's a no-no. But we're not talking to the men. There's that one. So now he's not needed. He's not feeling needed. He's not feeling appreciated because there's nothing that he can do for you to appreciate. Because you're independent. You've been doing it by yourself. And then you're not even used to appreciating men. I hear women talk a lot about how men are just supposed to do all this stuff for them and women are supposed to do nothing. And then some women are under the premise that they're supposed to just cook and clean. No, ma'am. Cooking and cleaning is part of you keeping your house clean. You should be doing that whether you have a man or not. A clean space keeps a clear mind. That has nothing to do with keeping a man. They don't care about that. You should want to keep your own space clean, and then you have to eat so you can live, correct? Okay, that has nothing to do. That's not what they comprehend. They do comprehend appreciation, and they do comprehend respect. And respect and trust are one and the same to them. If they feel like you don't trust them, the relationship's gone. They feel like you don't respect them, the relationship's gone. Part of respect is appreciation. You don't have any appreciation, they're not going to feel devotion to want to do things for you. They'll feel obligation because it's in their nature to do for you. Plus, you have the men who don't want to hear your mouth. But you do not want a man doing things for you out of obligation. That's force. That means he's not doing it from his heart. That's force. It's not love. It's not fun. It doesn't turn into anything wonderful. It's stressful. Which, you're familiar with stress because you're a workaholic. So now you're stressing this man out with your stress. So what do you need him for? You don't. Why do you want a husband? You don't need one. It looks like you got the wife and the husband right here. That's all you need, right? That's our first foul. Your self-image was created from experiences and others' beliefs and your environment. Oh, sorry, I'm reading it different. Sorry. In your environment, it became solidified by a moment of crisis when life or someone hurt you. When life hurts us or someone, survival keeps us safe. Does that sound familiar? Let me give you a hint. The most common thing I hear from women when they're dating and when the good prospects start coming in, because when they come to me, they have not the prospects they want. So after working with me this comes about like 2 months in, they start getting better qualified candidates. And then they start to say stuff like, I don't want to get hurt. I like him, but I don't want to get hurt. So they list all the things that they can't do. I can't show him that I like him. I can't call him all the time. I can't invite him over. I can't dare go to his house. I can't do this. I can't do that. I won't do this until he does that. That's survival. Whenever you are trying to keep yourself safe from something, that's survival. For as long as you're in survival, One of two things is going to happen. You're not going to find a husband, or you're going to find a husband that you settled for. And we don't want either of those. First of all, settling is not self-love. That is wicked. Wicked. Self-image. Why would you settle? What are you telling yourself about yourself to settle? Survival keeps us safe. I want you to write that down. Put that in your notes on your iPhone. When survival takes over, other things die. So, when your body dies, your spirit leaves your body. That's when you're dead, lifeless, gone, right? Okay. So there's other kinds of death. We have emotional trust that dies. That's the number one, and that's why I put that first. The emotional trust dies. Or at least it stays, what's it called? I want to say dormant, but that's not the one. Yeah, I think it's dormant. Like when your cancer is in recession. I don't know. It lays in the background. But it's dead because it's not forefront and it's not anything that you're thinking about bringing out. Spiritual connectivity dies. Financial affluence dies. Physical safety dies. And your social standing dies. So now we're dating men, right? We're in survival. So they can't do shit for us. Excuse my French. They can't do nothing for us. Now we're dating men. We don't have any trust because life hurt us at one point in time, which is a slide I'm about to get to, I think. Okay, so let me not talk before I get there, because remember I told you I'm reading from my notebook. I don't know what slide is what slide. Hold on, let me speed up. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here's an example. Your self-image is independent. And this is usually from when someone you love betrayed you, or you grew up in a single parent home where independence was instilled in you, and then you watched it happen around you. Well, remember, whenever a belief happens, you will see things that enforce your belief. So if someone's teaching you to be independent, you know, when your mom says, make sure you have your own money. Make sure you never depend fully on a man. Because if he decides that he wants to kick you out the house, you don't have nothing. Well, every single mom teaches their daughter that. I mean, most of them, the ones who aren't like selling their kids for drugs and stuff. Most of us were raised like that. If we were in a single parent home, it was instilled in you. Or maybe you were betrayed. Betrayal often teaches us that we only have ourselves to depend on. And that started the domino effect for you not trusting men. And you became masterful at not needing anyone. So now you don't need anyone. Now you don't trust anyone, but you want to be somebody's wife. Let me tell you the duties of a wife, because it is not cooking. It is not cleaning. It is not rubbing that man's feet and wiping his nose and washing him up in the bathtub. Wife duties. Let me give you an animation first. I like animations and analogies and stories. Animation. A man provides the house. The woman's job is to make the house a home. Now let's break that down. Wifely duties. To make that man feel supported. To make that man feel appreciated. Wifely duties are, I understand that the weight of the world is on your shoulders when you come home. I'm giving you permission to leave it at the door, because when you come in this house, there is no weight of the world. I will ease it so that you can go out, produce the money, perform the right way, make the bedroom life still great. And I appreciate you for taking me out of survival mode. But it's not his responsibility to take you out of survival mode. You take you out of survival mode, he maintains you being out of survival mode. A man who put you back in survival mode, put him back. We don't keep him. But betrayal teaches us that we only have ourselves. And that's not true. We don't only have ourselves. But if that's your belief, that's the experience that you will experience, that's what will get reiterated and you'll keep believing it. But it's not true that we only have ourselves. And if you're ever going to believe that you only have yourself, you need to believe the positive side of that. I only have myself, but I'm reliable and I'm dependable and I'm not suffering. I'm not going to suffer because I only have me. Like, it needs to be the positive side. It needs to not be, I only have me. I'm never going to let anybody be there for me because people disappoint me. That's the negative side. And that's from survival. And we'll talk about it in a couple slides further. But your energy produces before your actions ever do. I think I said that earlier. That your energy trumps your willpower. You can want it all you want to. You could do all the right actions. But if your energy is not there, it's not going to happen. But that's got you this far. It's taking you to the top. Whatever that looks like for you. But it's keeping you alone. So while it's worked for your career, you cannot use any of this for your husband. There's nothing comforting about that. Okay, good night, Beyond. I'm sorry I'm taking so long. I'm actually almost done. I think I got like 7 more slides. But thanks for joining me. What? You want this to be an ebook? I could make it a replay. I could do a replay on Monday. Career versus husband, babe, they're not the same thing. And I've heard women say, I treat dating like business. Like it's a transaction. What do you do for a living? What's your this and this and this? Like, well, if you treat it like a business, it's going to be a business. It's not going to be a loving marriage. This is deep. I decided to teach y'all. I was just going to do, how they get on and they tell you a little tidbit and they're like, oh, you want to fix it? Journal this, blah, blah. You want to fix it? Work with me? No. This time I was like, let me just teach them a little something. Because the thing is, you will never run out of information. People who teach in scarcity mindset, oh, I can't give this much because then no. You're independent. It's okay to be independent, but you have to find a balance. You can't be so independent that man can't man for you. That's all. It's called, what's it called? Interdependent? Be interdependent. He's independent, you're independent, but you both work together. As long as you make it work together, your independence is healthy. It's when your independence is, don't do this for me, I got it. I got it. Well, he just look good? You just want to come home and see that man on the couch with his pecs out? That's it. And then if you got it, why don't you just get it all the way? Go get the toy. All right. When life hurts you, or when someone hurts you. Oh, this is my question to you. Type it in the chat. When life hurt you, or when someone hurt you, what did you decide about yourself? Thanks, baby doll. Divorce shifted you into survival. That'll do it. Oh, I got a word for you. I'm going to send it to your messenger. I got you, Miss Fiona. And thank you. When life hurt you, or when someone hurt you, what did you decide about yourself? What did you decide about yourself, AI auntie? It says there's 3 people on here, but I don't know who is who and what is what. What did you decide about you? Okay, I'll go first because everybody's being shy. And I get that we're on live, so you might not want everybody to know your business. I'm on live, and this is my live, and I'll give you my business. Because what are you going to do with it? Register it? Elon Musk got everybody's business right now, so I'm safe. When life hurt me. Ooh, not worthy is the big one. That's a lie for another day. Not worthy. When life hurt me, I definitely did feel powerless. I told you, like, most of my hurt was dad hurt. while other people's dads were loving them in a way that looked like love, my dad was somewhere doing tough love, and I don't process tough love. Like, that's not for me. I'm not a football player. Why are you toughing it out like that? So I felt like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough, and nothing I did was good enough. And it caused me to protect myself. I was protected in a way that was like, I'm not going to let a man hurt me, but it was like, I don't even want you to see those parts of me. Like, I want your life to still be good, and I'm not going to show you those parts of me. Here we go. And actually, my boyfriend just reminded me recently, because I had to cut my dad off. I did fix our relationship to a certain extent, but he still pours negativity. And my man reminded me, like, babe, for as solid as your boundaries are, you don't have none with your dad. And I was like, you know what? You got a good point, so let's fix it. Here we go. You have not been tending to your survival, which is part of your self-concept. When in survival, you could be taking all the right actions, but in the wrong energy. Your energy is always the boss. It will punk your willpower every time. I said that earlier. Willpower, you could do all the right things. I'm looking for a husband. I'm on them stupid dating sites. I did manifestation. I sleep on one half of my bed. I cleared one half of my closet. Right? I'm nice to these men now. Whenever I go out and I meet them, I smile and I wave, when I used to just be like, boy, go ahead. I'm doing all the right things. I even journal. And, I started talking to myself better. Right? I started telling myself that I deserve love. But my energy is in survival. So as soon as I get somebody who looks like love, I'm going to push him away because my survival says that love is not safe. So for as long as my energy says that love is not safe and I'm in survival, I cannot attract the kind of husband that I want. I cannot keep the kind of husband that I want if I do attract him. Thanks, AI auntie. Yeah, my dad said some excruciating things recently when he got cut off, recently being maybe like a month ago. And he keeps perpetuating my daughter's rebellion, so I had to step back. You're doing a little too much. Guess what, guys? You found me. And because you found me, it's time to open your heart. Adjust your energy. Close your mouth, because women are known to have, we just know it all. But we really know nothing. Relax your ego. Release your judgment. Get vulnerable and unlearn the false narrative of love to learn real love. Let me touch on each of those for a second. Open your heart. Your heart is the conduit for love. Love is what will hold your marriage together. Love is what will attract the person that's right for you to you and keep him. Love is what will forgive when you need to forgive. Love is what will heal you. So if your heart is not open, there is no love flow going through there. I love my mom. I love my kids. No. Watch this. If you love conditionally, you don't love shit. And majority of people love conditionally. We even love our kids conditionally at some age. We don't mean to, but we're built like that. Next, you need to adjust your energy. So remember I said you could do all the right things, but if you're doing all the right things in the wrong energy, it's not going to work. And you might get a little thing here and there. That's called hot and cold. So you might see some results you wanted to see, but they're not going to stick around. Energy don't lie. You cannot lie to your energy. Your energy cannot be in survival and you tell your energy, hey, I'm in love. No, you're not. Don't punk your willpower. That's a hashtag. Third, close your mouth. Women, we hate that. We hate that. But let me tell you about a man's provision. We live in a day and age where people think that a man being a provider is just his finances. You ever met a man who provides with his finances and don't provide shit else? He is a headache. If you didn't experience it, good, God bless you. Don't jump in it. Another thing that a man provides is guidance, leadership.
Good night.
Hi. You should be able to get with a man and he take you up in life. You should not be getting with a man and staying stagnant or falling backwards. He's not the one. You got to let him go. You both should be able to elevate each other's life. However, he cannot be a leader if your mouth is always going. And there's two kinds of mouth going on too. It's the I know everything mouth, where you talk back to him, where you catch an attitude, where you tell him about himself, where you're like, I'm never going to let a man do da-da-da to me. What you're not going to do is da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I met some women whose mouths are ugly. They start calling a man names and belittling him. Who wants to be with that? Everybody pointing fingers. The woman is the problem. The man is the problem. No, ourself is the problem. Close your mouth, goddammit. That's it. That's how you avoid arguments. And I'm not saying close your mouth like when on those other slides where I was saying that you don't know how to say no. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, you know what mouth I'm talking about. The mouth that knows it all and the mouth that talks shit. Shut those up. He can't lead if your mouth is going. He can't save your ass from something you didn't know about if your mouth is going. Let me give you an example. My whole life, I've had male friends. My whole life. Since I could walk, my mom's best friends had sons. I grew up with boys. I'm half rugged. We rollerbladed. We got boo-boos. We fell downstairs. We pushed each other. Like, I'm half dude. Like, and that stuck with me my whole life. High school, females were envious of me. Now, I didn't know that in high school because I wasn't jealous of nobody, so I didn't know what that looked like. I just thought chicks was weird. No, females were envious. So who did that leave me? Guys. Guys don't get jealous. I mean, there's a certain kind of guy that gets jealous. But for the most part, guys don't get jealous. That's not their thing. You got your lane, I got my lane, and we can function together. Girl, I'm definitely half rugged. Half rugged, mean right hook, half rugged. So, I'm used to hanging with guys. Now, for me, that's platonic. I'm able to separate a romantic interest from a platonic interest. And I thought that men were able to do the same shit. It wasn't until I got with the guy that I'm with now that I learned something else. Now, let me tell you, in the beginning when he was trying to tell me, my mouth was going. Because remember, this is how I live my life. So for me, in my brain, I'm like, you can't tell me. Men, I do have platonic friends, right? Like, these men would ride or die for me because they love me, but not in a romantic way. Like, some of them call me their sister. This is not what you think this is. And then I'm like, if I cut off my male friends, I'm not gonna have no friends. You ever seen a woman who don't have no friends and she in a relationship? I was like, are you trying to make me clingy? No! I'm not getting rid of my friends. And then I have a rule. If I'm not married and you didn't propose, I'm not cutting off people who came 10 and 15 years before you. And if we break up, they're going to be here 10 and 15 years after you. That's not loyalty. So yes, my mouth was going. But let me tell you when I shut it up. There was nothing that this man was telling me. Not just about this, but he's always leading. And in the beginning, I wasn't really letting him. Survival. He's always leading and he's never wrong. Never wrong. When I learned that he's never wrong when his mouth opens, I shut the hell up so fast. Because one thing my ego don't like, remember, relax your ego. One thing my ego don't like is being wrong. I study. I can't be wrong. Like, I won't even talk about something I don't know about. So let me tell you how it started coming out. He's like, they're not platonic. You think it's platonic. It's not platonic. These men, if you gave them the opportunity, these men would smash. And I was like, okay, what if you just meet them? He's like, no, I'm a man. I've been a man my whole life. I know men. He's like, they play the background until it's their turn. We good at playing the background. And I'm like, really? Even the moments where we've been alone and we've done nothing, we haven't thought to do anything, we haven't talked about doing anything, those moments don't matter either. He's like, no, he's watching you. If you didn't do nothing, you didn't send the signs, he's not making a move. Man, let me tell you. I saw it happening. There was 3 different scenarios. And after that, I shut my mouth. There was a guy who I went to school with. I finally ran into him after years and years. We got in trouble in like the 5th grade. He kissed me in the closet at school and we got busted. And that was the end of us because he didn't want to talk to me no more at school. That was embarrassing for him. It was over. We didn't never talk. Not when we went to school. Then I moved away from out of the city and then I moved back to the city and I ran into him because he was my postman. Look at the irony. So the post mail that was coming was going to my now ex's house. And because this was while I was homeless, I didn't have an address. So it was going to his house. And I didn't want it to go to his house anymore. And since I found out that the guy I went to school with was the mailman, I was like, look, can you hold the mail for me? He's like, yeah, I'll just collect it, and then I can bring it to you sometimes. So I'm like, cool. So I'm telling my dude, like, yeah, I read into da-da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. He starts laughing because he already knew that story. So he starts laughing. I'm like, yeah, he said he would hold my mail for me. He's like, cool, da-da-da. I'm thinking it's just cool. He's like, babe, he's holding your mail, like he's going to bring you your mail. And I said, yeah. He was like, babe, that guy likes you. And I'm like, no, like, we're just cool. Like, what we had was so long ago. It wasn't even nothing. Like, when you're 10 years old, when you're 10, 11, that's not important. He's like, well, now that guy likes you. So I'm like, no, that's not true. Wrong as hell. It was maybe the 3rd time that he brought me my mail. He brought it to me when I was at my son's football practice. And I'm on the phone with my dude. So he hears the whole transaction happen. And he's like, and you still don't think that he brought you your mail because he likes you? And I said, no. So since I was on the phone, the guy who brought me my mail noticed that I was on the phone. So he sends me a text. And he's like, are you seeing somebody? Are you on the person you on the phone with? Like, you seeing him? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, I thought you was single because I was going to ask you to go da-da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. I don't remember what he said. But it implied that he liked me. And I was like, I didn't even pick up on that. Like, I thought we was just cool, da-da-da. Like, I got kids. He don't got kids. I didn't think he was interested. He's like, no, I've been trying to, like, figure out how to ask you out, but I haven't asked you and da-da-da. I'm like, no, my dude was not right this whole time. That was the 2nd incident, I think. There was 2 more before that. One of his friends liked me. That was a whole bad scenario. But I didn't know. Like, I'm so used to talking to guys and I'm so comfortable talking to guys. There really is there's no ceiling for me. Like, if you ask something, as long as it's not, like how much money you make or who you had sex. Like, I don't know. Like, as long as I'm comfortable talking to guys. So there's sometimes where the conversation is just conversation for me. But my dude was like, that is not conversation to him. Only for him to show that it wasn't conversation to him. And then after that, it was the 3rd incident with somebody else. And I was like, I quit. You're right. I think I had asked one of my old friends, like, you never thought about us being together, right? And he was like, no. I'm like, okay. I was like, so, like, I was just experimenting because I wanted to see if my guy was right. So I'm like, well, I haven't been having sex for a long time, and, I don't like to have new partners or whatever, and I knew you all my life, so I was wondering, like, if you might want to hook us up. Man, he didn't turn me down. He got blocked, but he didn't turn me down, and after that, I was like, my whole life was a lie. My whole life was a lie. Every guy, and then my dude was explaining to me, like, babe, you are attractive. And then you have a heart of gold. That's rare. So not only do you look good, not only are you down to earth, you're pure. Like that, we're not finding that nowhere. No, we don't want to be your friend. And I shut it down. But again, my mouth was open in the beginning. I had to close my mouth. And after that, I closed my mouth. Like everything he says now, I don't say nothing back because he's always right. And I'm like, dang. Gotta close your mouth. You can't learn nothing with your mouth open. And men know. How women have a sixth sense, I don't know what men got, but it works. Next, you need to relax your ego. That's that. You're not going to tell me what to do. You don't own me. I'm independent. You're not going to take my independence. My ego says. No. Put your ego down. Ego and love do not go together. Ego belongs to the man. He needs his ego stroked. So if you got a big ego and he got a big ego, how y'all going to work? Put the ego down. I always put it like this. It's going to come down in every situation to you choosing love or you choosing your ego. Which one you going to choose? Those are the only two options that you have. Release your judgment. Release your judgment of him, of relationships, of love, and of yourself. Because whenever you are in judgment, you are not in love. And whenever you're not in love, love is not flowing. Whenever love is not flowing, it causes all types of problems that you can't get over because more problems like it are coming. And that's sometimes when your relationship takes a hit. And sometimes you can recover and sometimes you cannot. Get vulnerable. Women are supposed to be vulnerable. You are not supposed to be in survival, protecting yourself from being vulnerable. Nothing happens there. Somebody's going to get hurt because you're not vulnerable. Men depend on two things, subconsciously. Your vulnerability and you standing on your standards. They move to that. It's nothing they can control. God designed it that way, and it's pretty dang on awesome. There hasn't been a time that I enforced a standard that a man acted stupid. And if they end up leaving because you enforced the standard, you dodged a bullet. But it doesn't usually happen. They move on you enforcing your standards, and they move on your vulnerability. Vulnerability is your superpower. That's what's going to make that man feel safe. A man who feels safe, it's easy for you to cultivate peace. A man who feels like his woman gives him peace, you are home, baby. You are home. He's going nowhere. No woman compares to you to him. And unlearn the false narrative of love to learn real love. For now, we're just going to categorize it as get rid of conditional love. Hi, Steph. Get rid of conditional love so you can learn real love. Because for as long as you love that man with conditions, it's not going to work right. It's going to be very frustrating. You're going to argue all the time. He's going to want to cheat because he wants a break from you. You might want to cheat because you want to break from him. For as long as your love is conditional, it's not flowing. Men love unconditionally, and that's the most beautiful freaking thing. I love it. Men love unconditionally. You're not even reciprocating the love that he's giving if you're loving conditionally, which means you don't need to be with him yet. Why would you want to be with somebody that you have to protect yourself from anyway? That's you settling again. You're settling again. You're settling again. People are real. Feelings are real. People's lives get fucked up because you're making selfish decisions. It's selfish for you to be with a man and be in protection of yourself. That means you don't trust him. That means get the fuck out of there. Sorry. You can see where I get passionate at. Let me tone my cuss words down. What's up, Steffi? Your relationship with yourself determines your relationship with men. Does that sound familiar? You can't love anyone correctly until you love yourself first. See where that comes from? See how that all ties into there? I'm going to say it again for those in the back. Your relationship with yourself determines your relationship with men. Ta-da. Remember, it was never about them. It was about us. And we never got right. So we get with them and we want them to be right. Then we want them to help us be right. It's not their job. And I'm going to tell you now from experience, it's the most coolest experience because I don't have another word to substitute for coolest. But it's the most awesome experience, y'all. When you love yourself and the man that you get with loves himself, or at least has, a sense of self, that is the most freeing relationship because you both have self-awareness. Now you both can care about each other because you're not protecting yourself. He's protecting you. Now he's not protecting himself. You're protecting him. There are no burdens there. You can communicate clearly. It is not their job. And if it was their job, they're not good at it. I haven't seen a man heal a woman. That woman had to have self-awareness and accountability to allow him to cultivate that in her. But it's not their job. God's not out here passing out men to heal you. That's not what he made them for. We are conditioned to earn love. Let's go back to slavery. Women in slavery are conditioned to work hard. They were working hard for survival. So that's all they know is to work hard, to earn it. That translates over into love too. For our whole life, not just money. We feel like we have to earn stuff. That's where the not feeling worthy comes from. We feel like if we didn't work hard for it, we didn't earn it. If we didn't earn it, we don't deserve it. And we can't, as women, we can't nurture properly. If we receive love that we feel like we didn't earn, let me tell you, that's the difference between conditional and unconditional love. Men don't make you earn their love. They either love you or they don't. Women will make you earn their love. It's the most goofy thing. Love is a given. Why? Because it's naturally who you are. We were made from love. We are love. There is nowhere we got to go to get it. We don't got to earn it. We don't got to fight for it. If the person don't love you just because you're AI auntie. If someone don't love you just because you're Stefan. If somebody don't love you just because I'm trying to see who's on this live. If somebody don't love you just because you're DeMarco. If somebody don't love you just because you're Vianette. That's not for you. You don't earn love. You can't earn love. Imagine how long you would have to work hard to earn love. It's abundant. It's forever. It was here before you were here. You know how old love is? How could you earn it? If it's what you are, how could you earn it? If God is love, how could you earn it? So since we're conditioned to earn it, we're also running a program that's expecting men to work hard to earn it. That's not love. And for as long as you're trying to earn something that you already are, it's not going to work out. And again, it was never about the man, ladies. Only us. So I'm going to ask you, how much is your relationship with you costing you? What kind of relationship do you have with yourself? And for the most part, women are like, I talk to myself good. I like the way I look in the mirror. I eat healthy. I work out. Like, I have a really good relationship with myself. You know how you know if you have a really good relationship with yourself? Come in contact with that man that scares you. That will show you what your relationship with yourself is. Because the love I have for myself, my man can't get me off of my rocker. And I have trust in him. I'm vulnerable with him. He respects and honors and protects that shit so heavy that even when I'm in my head, I can say to myself, well, That's not even in his character, so I made that up. And I trust him. So sometimes I'll come to him and I'll be clear as day. I'll be like, babe, I don't know if I'm in my head or not, but I feel like this, and I thought that this, and I thought this, and because you did this, and and he's like, babe, you was in your head for real. First of all, I didn't do that. I was here. And I wouldn't ever go there. I never go there. Why would I go there today? I didn't, nope. And sometimes he can tell when I need reassured, and I haven't even asked him anything. Because I'm too busy trying to regulate me, like, what do I need in this moment? That's a lie for another day. But whenever you feel like you need something from that man, it's because you haven't given it to yourself first. As soon as I give it to myself, I'm back whole and complete. I don't need nothing from him. Intangible. I don't need nothing intangible from him. Remember, we're not hyper independent. So I want you to ask yourself, how much is your relationship costing you? I had a question in here for y'all to do for journaling, and I cannot find her. All right, our next slide. It says, we are taught to, I jumped ahead. We are taught to earn love, and we're running programs that expect men to earn our love. Complete energetic misalignment. If you're misaligned, it's not going to work. If the energy's not there, it's not going to work. You're always going to be forcing. You're always going to be chasing. You're always going to be upset. You're always going to think it's the man. Guys, it's never the man. It's never the man. But for as long as you believe that it's the man, the world has to show you that your belief is true. Because that's all your brain is doing. Your brain is looking for where that belief is true. So that means you can't even see what's true because you already told your brain what to look for. So you're missing complete misalignment. That's why you can't find your husband. There is no husband in misalignment. And what did I tell y'all? Vulnerability is your superpower. Like superpower. Let me tell you how super vulnerability is. You might meet a man who's in survival mode himself because he had an ex who did him so dirty, he don't even trust women. That was my man. He was like basing all women off of his ex. And I'm like, everybody's not like her. But you can't convince an already made up mind. All I did was be me. And I was vulnerable. I'm still vulnerable. I'm always vulnerable. He's so used to being even vulnerable that he gets mad when I don't tell him my feelings. He's like, do you think this is cute? I'm like, no. He's like, there's no way you could tell me something and it'd be too much for me. Tell me. I can't fix it with you if you're holding on to it. Vulnerability is your superpower. Just like forgiveness, but this is not for this live. Forgiveness is magic too when you're in a relationship. But just like forgiveness, vulnerability is your superpower. That is where your bond is going to strengthen. You want the husband? I hear women say, I want him to be obsessed with me. Be vulnerable. And if you don't trust him enough to be vulnerable, get out. It is not fair to him. And it's not fair to you. And people are out here ruining people. Don't nobody want to be fixing somebody else's damage. That's not fun. I want to love you and I want you to love me and I want us to have fun. I don't want to be repairing what somebody else broke. And I don't want to not be loved because somebody else broke you. That's not fair. So if you're too scared to trust that man to be vulnerable, let him go. And understand that he's not the problem. Because the person feeling scared, the person who's not trusting is you. All of that is happening inside of you. It has nothing to do with him. Lastly, it's not lastly, but last of all of it. Your fundamentals of attracting a husband. You're going to need clarity. I have a clarity workbook that I give to only my paying clients. But I told myself that tonight I'm going to give it to you guys on the live. So if you want my clarity workbook, I'm going to give it to you for free. Make sure you write in the comments, clarity workbook, and I will message you for your email, and I will email it to you. Now, let me tell you, this is not an ordinary clarity workbook. We get so detailed, I'm probably going to get on your nerves. Because here's the thing. If you don't have clarity, you're going to attract anything. And I know some of you think you're clear. You're not clear. You're just regurgitating what society tells you that you should want in a man. I want him to be chivalrous. I want him to be a provider. I want him to be faithful. I want him to be obsessed with me. I want us to travel. I want to be his skin. Yeah. That's basic as hell. And how many times did you attract that and you still wasn't happy and no husband came out of it? It's because you ain't clear. Clear. Let me give you an example. When something heavy comes up, when an uncomfortable conversation needs to be had, how does he communicate? How do you communicate? How do you both solve problems? Did you write that down on your checklist? Or did you just write, we have good communication? What the heck is that? For some people, good communication is he calls you every day. What is good communication? Define it. We get crystal clear in my clarity workbook. So if you want my clarity workbook for free, let me know in the comments and I will email it to you after the live. This is the only time I'm giving it away for free because it's so valuable. I think that thing should cost like $2,000. Actually, I think it's worth more than $2,000. However, it's got about 20 questions. They make you dig deep. My clients get stuck at like the 5th question. They're like, do I have to do this? Yes, you have to. Do you want the man? Intentionality. Ladies, you cannot date without intentionality. We're out here winging it and we're running on default. And we're dating men and we're calling men the problem. You're dating with no intentionality. You don't have intentions. What are your intentions? Most women's intentions are to assess him. He is not auditioning for you. Are you a TV show? Is this America's Next Top Model? Women are dating with no intentionality at all. All you know in the back of your mind is you want a husband. But then you don't even believe that you could get a husband. So you're out here dating all nasty and sloppy and just, what? What are you doing? At some point, we got to grow up. We date with no intentionality as teenagers. We date with no intentionality as kids. We're grown as fuck and we want to be married. We date with intentionality. I'm intentionally doing this. I'm intentionally going here. I'm intentionally watching the way I speak to you because it matters how you speak to that man. It's the difference between him being devoted and him being obligated. And women, you want a man that's devoted, not a man that's obligated. You don't want a man that feels forced to do shit for you. That's not love. And it's stressful. And it builds up. And you get talked about and cheated on. And he dreads coming home. I don't want my husband to dread coming home. We meet at the door. I still jump on him. I'm crazy. What time it is? You have to date with intentionality. Be in your relationship with intentionality. Vulnerability. Remember, that's your superpower, ladies. It's your superpower. If you are scared to be vulnerable with the man, that's not your man. Let him go. Don't waste no more time. Because it means you don't trust him. And what did I say? Men respond to respect. They process respect as love. And part of that is trusting them. If you don't trust them to be the man, it ain't gonna work. And lastly, you need to release judgment. Whenever you're in judgment, you are not in love. I got you on the workbook. Whenever you are in judgment, you are not in love. Because let me put it for you. Love has no judgment. It doesn't know how to judge. Judgment is ego and selfishness. Love has no fucking idea what you're complaining about in your judgment. Let me give you an example. He's so selfish. That's a judgment. Love does not have the eyes to see selfish. Love might see fear. Love might see He was raised this way. He doesn't know how to be anything else. Love might see, oh, he's not actually being quote unquote selfish. I'm being selfish because I want him to give up something that he wants only for himself. He's allowed to have stuff for himself. Just because we're in a relationship don't mean I own him. He's still a grown man. He earned being able to do what he wants to do. Isn't that what we tell our kids? When you're 18 and you move out the house, you can do whatever you want to do. We don't teach our kids when you're grown and you move out the house and you get in a relationship with somebody. No. When you're grown and you move out, you can do whatever you want to do until you get in a relationship and then that person owns you. Like, what? Give that man back his freedom. But remember that. Write that down in your notebook. Whenever I'm in judgment, I am not in love. And how do we get out of it? Ask yourself, how do I see this situation from love? He just pissed me the fuck off. I think he's a liar. I think he's an asshole because he hung up on me. Those are judgments. How can I see this from love? What would love do? How does love see this? Okay. Love sees that he hung up because he didn't want to say something foul to me. Now, he doesn't have emotional intelligence because emotional intelligence wouldn't have hung up on me, but that's okay. He took space. My job is to trust that he'll come back and we'll talk about it and we'll work it out. Not to blow his phone up because you want to talk because he hung up on you. Because you made the judgment, because you're acting in judgment that he's an asshole and he don't care because he hung up on you. You made all that shit up in your head. The only thing you did was hang up. Get out of judgment so you can get into love. Because love cannot manifest through a protected heart. And that's the real reason why y'all don't have no husbands. You're too protected. If you're protected, what on earth can you attract? If you gate yourself into your house, who can come over? How can Amazon deliver a package? Love cannot manifest through a protected heart. That's the end of my live, y'all. I'm sorry that I went over. I got a little extra passionate. But here's my intention, ladies. Let me tell you. My intention. Remember, we got to date with intentionality. I have intentionality with everything. Intentionality for this live. My intention for you and for most black women is that healed black women will transform the world. Healed black women. My intention is for healed black women to transform the world. I want us to change the statistics to make longer lasting, healthy marriages the norm. It should not be foreign to have a healthy, long-lasting relationship. That doesn't even make no sense. If God created man for woman and woman for man, how are the statistics for marriage lasting and being happy so small? I made another typo. That should say when. When you heal your heart, you heal history. And you heal the world. That's your superpower. Because it takes vulnerability to heal. My second intention is that you manifest the beautiful love beyond your wildest dreams with a man that you thought only existed in your imagination. That's my favorite. Hi, Allie. I miss you. Actually, I've had somebody. Let me show you. I had a client who she manifested her man out of nowhere with my coaching. Let me find it for you. I'm looking for it right now. I'm about to show y'all. She's one of my favorite clients. Y'all probably see this video a lot. It's pinned to my page. But it's to tell you that I absolutely can't help you manifest your man out of nowhere. Like, I'm really good at it. It takes it's not rocket science. Now, the question is, where's this video, though? Hold on. Boom, boom, boom. Here it is.
I, made up a whole person. A whole man. Wrote him out. And I I was like, yeah, like, this is like, if my world was perfect, this is who this man would be. And then he just showed up, like, out of thin air. Like, he just like, okay, hi. It's like a hand delivered. Made up a whole person, a whole man, wrote him out.
That's what we did. And she came to me and she didn't believe we could do it either. It's because the reason you desire a husband and the kind of man that you desire, he exists. That's the only reason you desire him. Like, it's impossible for you to have a desire of something that's not real. Like that. Another intention, my intention for you is that you know what it's like to smile from your heart and to love from your soul and pour that into the world. Because this world has never known real magic, the real magic of love. Because we love in our own versions, and we love from our egos, and we love conditionally, and we love if you earned it, and we love if we feel like you deserve it, like blah, 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 blah. Be free from that shit. And I want y'all also to know something. Your mindset is everything. What you believe is what's real for you in your reality. 100%. So if you believe that nobody can hurt you, nobody can hurt you. You know how long I've had that belief? Nobody can hurt me. I have to give you permission to hurt me. Why would I give you permission to do that? Nobody can hurt me. So even if I fucking love you and we break up and it don't work out, I got to love you. That's one of the experiences of this life. I got to feel inspired by love to extend it to you. I lost nothing. Because there's people out here who can't love. People out here who are too scared to love. People out here who don't know how to love and they don't know how to receive love. And I'm grateful as fuck not to be one of them. No disrespect, but woo. So you need to cultivate the belief that nobody can hurt you. And when you love from a pure sense of love, you're never going to feel like somebody took something from you if the relationship don't work out. You're just on to the next one. You know the next one is an upgrade. Not only physically, but it's the upgrade in love. Like if the love between us was this great, the next person is going to be superior. We too busy protecting ourselves. And then you only get to live one time. You're going to live this life one time scared the whole damn time. But then some of y'all ride roller coasters. Roller coasters are scary as shit. You mean you not scared of a device that could drop your ass out 5,000 feet in the air? You ain't scared of that. You ain't scared to lose your life. You ain't scared that your seatbelt might not click and you fall out. You ain't scared you're going to fall out on the upside down at Cedar Point. But you scared that man is going to hurt you. Huh? You ain't scared to die. But you scared that man is going to hurt you. Stop that. You giving him way too much power, way too much credit. You know how people blame the devil for everything? They be giving him way too much fucking credit. The devil don't got no power. Like, what? People be like, that's the devil. Like, no. That was your own lack of accountability, but whatever you say. That's how you are with these men. I don't want to get hurt. You giving him way too much power. Why do you think he can hurt you? You don't got that kind of power over me. I choose. No, sir. You're not going to get the chance to hurt me. But it's not because I'm going to have a wall up. It's because I know what you do has nothing to do with me. It came from all your past experiences, stuff that you've been through, stuff that you believe, stuff that people taught you. That has nothing to do with me. If you read the 4 agreements, one of the agreements is don't take stuff personal. I'm not taking that personal. You didn't hurt me. And I'm a full package. I know I ain't lost shit. You were blessed to be loved by me. Huh? And I mean that with no cockiness. Harriet Tubman knew real love because she risked her life loving others. Rosa Parks knew love as she sat on the bus enforcing her boundaries and loving herself enough to stand up for herself. Marilyn Monroe, she knew love when she tapped into how she became magnetic. The world called her the most beautiful woman. I know people who don't think she's that. But it was her own cultivation of herself. Like, look, this is me. This how I'm going to show up. It don't have nothing to do with nobody else. And now it's your turn. I'm here to, transform. I'm here to transform your heart and touch your soul. So you transform your life with less force and impatience, but instead more release and love to magnetize it all to you, because you deserve that. Tupac said it best. Let's change the way we eat, change the way we live, and change the way we treat each other. And I'm going to add, let's change the way in which we love each other. Here goes some success stories. I ain't put the whole thing on here. These people wrote long reviews. But Catherine, she went from powerless, low confidence, accepting mistreatment that she didn't want, and her man was having interest in other women and not helping her around the house and all this bullshit. But after working with me, she was bombastic, beautiful, and powerful, and she stepped into that shit, and he was acting right. Like, it has nothing to do with the man. It's you and your perception and how you show up. Her self-concept surprised the fuck out of her. As soon as she stopped making it about the man, as soon as she stopped worrying about how she wanted him to show up, and she showed up how she wanted to show up, and she changed her beliefs and her feelings, he started coming home early. He wasn't thinking about no other women. He was faithful and devoted from what you could see, which was different from before, because he was staying out late, wasn't caring, having attitudes, not answering his phone. They lived together. Like, that's weird shit. But as soon as you remove the judgment, as soon as you change your beliefs, as soon as you make it about you, everything changes. Literally, your whole life is just your perception. If you don't like it, change your fucking perception. That's it. That man didn't do nothing to you. You always want to be the goddamn victim, so it looks like that man did something to you. Take your power back. There's no one to change but yourself. This one is a cool one because she followed everything I said. She came to me. I'm not even going to read this because I can just tell you. She came to me desperate for a man. She was manifesting a specific man. I don't know if he was her ex. I don't know. I forget. But he wasn't interested. Like, I mean, 1,000% not interested no more. She came to me crying like, how do I get my man back? I want my man. I moved tears so I could be. It was just horrible. Just like, she did everything I said. How I said it. She came back with an immaculate ass self-concept, y'all. Let me tell you. She didn't even give a fuck about old dude. She came back out of nowhere, because they weren't dating. She came back out of nowhere talking about she's engaged to, she called him her soulmate. She's engaged to her soulmate. Y'all, this was like 4 years ago. They're still happily married because she still messages me. Met him in 6 months, married his ass in 6 more months, still happily married. People don't be wanting other people to know they had a love coach. So she made me black their faces out. But, like, it was no longer wanting him. Probably was only wanting him because he didn't want her. Like, that's human nature. Why waste your time on a man that don't want you when you can have the exact kind of man that you want? That's what we do. Period. Want the happily ever after? Where should your focus be, y'all? What did I say? Your focus should be on yourself. It has nothing to do with the other person. It should be on your beautiful self-concept. There are 3 factors that play out here. How you see yourself, how you see relationships and love, and how you see men or the man that you're involved with. Those all play out in your reality. If you see him as incompetent, that's how he's going to fucking show up. If you see relationships as men always cheat, that's how he's going to fucking show up. If you see yourself as somebody who gets cheated on, because in order to believe that all men cheat and that your man is going to cheat on you, you got to believe that you're a woman who gets cheated on. Why the fuck you believe in that? Love. These slides are so pretty. Clarity. Consistency. Consistency and working on yourself. Unwavering confidence and knowing in your own creative power. This is all it requires. So what's stopping you? Your limiting beliefs, which I also call smoke stories, your smoke stories. Your misplaced focus, because remember, it's only about us. But our misplaced focus, we focus on the guy. And your misunderstanding of what love is. And that's it. That's the end of my slides. That's the end of my rant. So, I got clarity workbooks going out. Make sure you comment that you want a clarity workbook. I see yours. I will get yours to you. I'm about to message you right when we get off. And that's all I got, y'all. Thanks for joining me on my live that was supposed to be 30 minutes, but it turned into an hour. I hope y'all got something out of it. And now my phone is dying right on time, right? Put that little sucker on the charger and go get something to eat. But I love y'all. Black women, we need to heal so that we can change the way we love. There's no reason why there should be a low statistic for healthy, happy, long-lasting relationships and marriages. That don't even make any sense. If God made woman for man and man for woman, how is there this disconnect? Your vision, I say this about success, but I'm going to say it about a relationship. Your vision for what you want, for your marriage, for your life, your vision has to be greater than your opposition. Because what you want is always going to experience the opposite. Look at it as a test. It's testing you to make sure this is what you really want. But if you give in to the opposite, it's going to think you don't want what you're asking for. So it's going to keep perpetuating what you believe, what you see, what you think, all your negativity. Your vision has to be bigger than your opposition. You're going to have opposition. The fuck? You could be the greatest YouTuber. You're going to have people hate on you. That's the opposition. Do you believe that you're the greatest YouTuber more than you believe in these people hating on you? I think I'm a phenomenal person. I'm going to stay a phenomenal person. I'm always evolving to be the better version of me. Some chicks don't like me. My vision, though, is bigger than my opposition. Cool, don't like me, boo. But whether you love me or hate me, you still need me to do it. So I'm still going to send love to you. It don't got nothing to do with me. It don't got nothing to do with you. It got everything to do with me. The only person to change is yourself. But I'm getting out of here. Britt, I'm going to send you the clarity workbook. Message me your email. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know. Or Sunday or Monday. I don't know. I've been on a live high. So you might see me tomorrow. But it was nice kicking it with y'all. I'm going to go update these slides because I had some typos. And I'm out. And I meant to take this off. This is actually my clothing line. My First Love Is Me. And I used to have a free program called My First Love Is Me. No, not a free program. Is it a 28-day? I think I have a 28-day intensive called My First Love Is Me. I run it every February. I didn't run it this February. I should have took that off. But look, those are the businesses that I own. This one's registered. And then that's my little logo. But I'm out, y'all. Thanks for joining me. I will see y'all soon. I don't know how to hang this live up, though. Do I hit X? On Facebook, it says ended. But on this, you don't see no ending. I think it's the X. Oh, yeah. Okay. Bye, guys.